Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave Daily Update for the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 for Thursday, May the 30th, 2024. The markets basically continued to move lower today. They did have the little pockets where they were buyers, of course, but generally the market did move lower and had pockets of that stronger push happening again. And we saw that overnight. We saw that it really started overnight and it carried through. And the market then just really continuing to pick up the pace and continuing to drop during our regular session. Now, what we've been looking for on an Elliott Wave basis, of course, is just to recap the count that's in force, is that we are in a minor fifth wave up. And within that minor fifth, we've completed minute waves 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're in a minute fifth wave. And that minute fifth wave is also, I'm going to bring this down to the hourly chart, is also coming into place because we are looking for the completion point of minuet wave 4 of minute wave 5. I'll go out to the arrow here so I can show it. So we're looking for the completion point for minuet wave 4 of minute wave 5. Once in, we'll look for a minuet fifth wave up to complete minute wave 5, minor wave 5, and intermediate wave 3. It is from that point that I'm going to be looking for a little bit larger of a correction. Now, if this goes up tomorrow, this manages to get itself up there tomorrow, which I'm not holding out a lot of hopes that that's going to be the case. So I figure tomorrow is PCE. So we've got still some stuff that could throw this market lower, which is why, if you'll notice, I have not marked this as complete, even though we got to 100%, where wave C is equal to wave A. Went through it, came back, closed just slightly above it. So we're going to reopen here in about a minute. And right now, it's looking like they're going to be coming in pretty much up a little bit. So that's going to be all right. But then again, I'm going to bring it down one more time and then open this up so that we can see that how I'm looking at this. Let's just do this. I hate when that does happen. It just doesn't want to do it the way I like it. There you go. So now we can see inside. So we're looking, we got the A, we got the B, we're looking for the C wave. So if anything, and it's strange, folks, I got to tell you, it is a strange count. And then what I got going on is like 1, A, B, C, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, not done with that 5. So we still have a lot of downside. Not a lot, but more downside to do. Now, putting this back out just a little bit so that we can see beyond here. And that's going to be too many. That takes me way up there. I'm not sure what happened to my, there it is. So here, I've left the 4 down here. So beyond this, we kind of drop into what I sometimes call a black hole. Why? Because there's no real support except for right there. So at 18,541.50 could be support because why? Well, that's this fourth wave here. That's its low point. And as Elliott shares with us, and I continue to share with you, that often the fourth wave of 1 degree would find its terminus, its endpoint, at the fourth wave of 1 lesser degree. Minuet, 1 lesser is subminuet, and there you have it right there. So we got close to that today. So whether I'm just going to be, splitting hairs, so to speak, over this particular pattern not appearing done, it may be because just the choppiness that we had. This could be a 3rd or 4, and if this could be a 5, but it jumped to the 4, and then this was the 5. And then we start up. Now, if that's the case, fine. So again, I can put a C there. It has reached the C equals A. It has reached, if I bring it back out, It has reached nearly that level. So that is at 18,545. And this low right here was 18,650. So yeah, 5 points. So really within less than a stone's throw, so to speak. So it could be done. Now, if it is, then we're looking for this to start to move higher. And it should not be wasting a whole lot of time. Now, what kind of goes against that is that tomorrow we have PCE, which, of course, is major data to come out that the Fed uses to try to keep a little bit of what's going on. Well, that's one too many. So for tomorrow, we have personal income and spending, and we have PCE, and that's all at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. And then at 9:45, we have Chicago Business Barometer. So the Chicago Business Barometer could be looking like perking the market up. So, they keep feeding in that things are a little bit better. The economy is really robust. This is happening. That's happening. And I think that what's really kind of just hanging over it is this persistent inflation. So watch out, because there's a lot of things that can happen because of that, which, can fool the consumer into some a little bit of like, oh yeah, everything's fine. Let's go spend some money. In any case, if it is done, first of all, we'll leave open the possibility that we're going to drop down to that full 3A2, which is nothing more than just the Fibonacci, the most common Fibonacci level for a fourth wave. This one happens to be a minuet fourth wave. So that comes in at 18,368. And then right below that, the C wave has 1.618 at 18,330. So we have a little bit of a cluster right there, which fits on fib levels for both, for the C wave and for the overall fourth wave. So all of that in mind, either we're done. If we are done here and this 4 gets moved up and we're starting to move up in a fifth wave, once it is complete, I will then add that final fib number levels, and that would be, we're connecting minuet wave 1 to minuet wave 4 as we try to measure up for minuet wave 5. Now, what do we have outside of all that? What's already in place? Well, we have, these are coming down off of levels that really are also, I've left in place as if this was the 4. So I got to take that guy out. And I'll tell you what I will do, though. I'm going to take it, I'm going to activate this drawing, and I'm going to bring it all down. And let's put it right there in case that is the level. Now, that's saying if, but it's not, because the market just opened and it's already sliding down. So let me move that again, because they've already gone below. And so activate one more time, and I bring it all the way down to here, let's say. You're going to see that our levels change, right? 100%, 19,060. That's where we'd be looking for all the way up to intermediate wave 3 to be finishing. And then above that, so see how, because of the depth and when we got to go back up, this is that primary B. And look, it's still sitting there. It's still sitting there. And so we're still going to be looking for a minuet wave, fifth wave up. And so what we've got going on is this is nothing. This should actually not even be there anymore. So let me take that out so that we're not oops. It should be, it did take it out. Which one did I take out? I got this, oh, it's the 0. And I guess I'll leave the 100% in there. Come on, get out of my way. I got all this stuff that comes up and blocks my okay. Yes, I'll leave the 100% there. Sorry. So I took out this top piece so it's not confusing. So there's not much in our way. Some at 18,979.80. So some of the larger numbers, yes, at 890. So we have some resistance coming up. This one really is ineffective. It should plow through that one without any problems. And so I've got all the rest coming up, and those are all going to be in the right colors. So here we have it. And then once it will add to it, once wave 4 is done, then we'll be able to add into it and see how high we get. Now, mind you, again, this is that primary B wave, which I've left up because it's resistance that has never been challenged here in the NASDAQ. And so that count still sits over my shoulder, but I can make reference to it that what would be completing not necessarily an intermediate third wave, but an intermediate C wave. I'm just going to leave that there for just a moment, because it's really a point that it's like it's just there. Now, let's talk that once we get to a low here, and what we're looking for as we come up, it should go pretty quickly. It should build on itself, and it should just rise very steadily. Now, tomorrow, again, we have that PCE data coming out, and plus personal spending coming out at 8:30 a.m. So that could have a spin. If it begins to show that inflation is weakening, I would expect an extremely strong rally. Because it's been based on the fact that inflation is being stubborn, and it's been stubborn kind of in the PCE data as well. Now, if there's any relief for an upside move, it would come from that it's starting to show that inflation is stepping back. Inflation is releasing. The grip is being released. And I think that would produce a very, very strong rally. And that's what I'd be looking for wave 5. Initially, as I moved it down to here, if we move it up a little bit, so be it. But we're looking for that to come down. This is where our support levels are, outside of which we believe we've pretty much almost hit. Not quite, but we're getting there. All right, so going up, we have 19,060, which would do it. Then we have 19,167. And then we get, again, these are black holes. Why? Market's never been here before. All we have are fib levels to rely on. And outside of that, we do have all the way over here, because everything else has been exceeded, would be on that minor degree comes in here. So minor degree, 2.618, 1.618 has been exceeded. And now I had to jump all the way up to here. That does not suggest that that is where it is going to go. That is just the next level. In case we had a runaway rally, kind of just plowing ahead, which I do not think is going to happen. Unless something really great that relieves a lot of pressure from a lot of different angles gets in place. Don't see that happening anytime soon. So we're going to look for this smaller 5 to finish the minute 5, the minor 5, and the intermediate third. And we get a little bit larger correction. And once it's complete, then I'll go into that one, because I still have that blocked on our little bit longer term charts. So again, what we got going on, starting to create a little bit of damage here. What do we see today? We got a little bit heavy. We got the 13, we got the 13 and the 20 breaking below the 200. We got the 50 coming down to give the 200 a little bit of a kiss, and it might be a kiss and go. Kiss, and I'm going to drop. And then everything is in alignment to go down. And that's on the hourly chart. So we could start to really begin to break and get it all the way down to here before we get any type of relief where we start to push up higher again. Now, again, I want to just add, so I need to go back out probably my 4-hour chart. Let's open it up. Open it up. Oops, let me do it again. Oh, come on, machine. There we go. That is here, minuet wave 1, all the way down here at 17,786. Out of this degree, that's where this would have to break all of this count. Right, minuet wave 1 is all the way down here. Now we have subminuet, so we had that wave 3 was dynamic. Now we're in the 4. So I really am thinking anywhere in between here and here should be able to do the trick. And we're getting down. We're pretty well counted down, and we're inside the 5th to drop. And actually, as soon as it gets below that, put that up exactly what it is, the 46 level, which was pretty close to the 45 level. So unless if it intends to break it, then we could get a little bit of a drop. If not, then the 4 is going to get moved up, and then this, once again, let me just point it out. I will make that change. Let's put it right there on that low. This is to say if that low does not get broken. Then we have our 100%, 19,228.50. So that, and then we have the higher at 19,600. So if that really starts to go, if it really starts to go. And then below that, we have that primary B. Okay, let's go over and take a look at the S&P. What we got going on here, same kind of a story, but a little bit different and a little bit different in account. So here we are also in a minute 5th wave up, but it is going to be completing the minor 3rd wave. I know, big difference actually, folks. I agree, big difference here. And I'm not sure how this is all going to resolve, but I got to see it through for right now. So again, minute 5 to complete minor wave 3. And that would still leave a minor 4th wave, which would be expected to come back into here. And then still a minor 5th to complete an immediate 3 and another drop with another rise. There's a lot of stuff going on that I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but this is on that alternate count, right? The more bullish count that it's primary 5th wave up. Well, now we're getting up into here, and it's like, well, how high do we think it can go against what's sitting out there? Well, this is the way it is. But again, if this goes back up a degree, and this is primary wave A, and we're finishing up a primary B wave, this would be intermediate A, intermediate B, and this would all be an intermediate wave C. So again, it still could be the same deal, but a little bit more, another rush up. So we're going to keep an eye on all of this very closely. Okay, so breaking it down from there. So we got minute wave 5, kind of stepping up. And what we're looking for, we're going to bring this down to the 4-hour chart, open it up so we can take a look inside to see what we got going on here. And it kind of came down to this low is the one that it reached today, this afternoon at 52.38. Right now, as we open, we got back down to 43. And now we're kind of still hanging out right there. So we're leaving open, right? Here's the window. We're down into it. And where's that low of that window is right at the 0.382, which is at 52.34. So we're very, very close. We came within 4 points. So can we consider this one complete as well? Well, let's bring it back down. Let's take a look at the hourly chart and let's go inside here. We're looking at the C wave. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Lovely. And then that 5. Can we? Unless it's got really a lot more to go, we can. We can. But what's the expectation then? That it starts to rally. And it continues to rally even after tomorrow's numbers. So, yeah, big order, so to speak, right? So if we bring it back and just take it back out, that's even, if we drop it back down, what's it got below that? Well, now we are coming in. First, I want to look and see where minuet wave 1 is. And I'm going to open it up this way. Minuet wave 1 is right there. And that comes in at 51.46. That's where the market can't break for this to remain in play. Otherwise, we're going to have to back it up and likely consider it done here. So it's, again, so I keep trying to tell you, it's getting to be very interesting up here because of the levels that it can't break on the way back down. So here we have way out here at 51.27, but here we have these levels. So again, I'm thinking to myself, man, you can't really come down too far here. They really don't like it. It could slide to 50%, but on minuet level, it's kind of looking a little bit big, bringing it down into here, the fourth wave. But you know what? We have seen that in this whole last legs of this up move. We've seen some fourth waves get a little bit too deep. Now, what does that tell us? Could be a couple of things. I could have to switch the labeling around. Not sure how I would do that in terms of the degree. Not sure how I would do that because I thought I've been pretty thorough in terms of making sure nothing is too grossly wrong with the counts. So, but I'll keep my eyes open for that. So anyway, ABC, this could be done here. And that because we're looking for the rally to start. And advance a PCE, it could. It definitely could. And we're going to see because they're still going after it a little bit here. So we got to allow for additional downside. 51.93 to 51.85, that's our support level. And then we'd be looking for the rally to begin. A break below that brings us into conflict with the possibility of a cross and an elimination of the entire labeling. So can't really build it too much, but I'm going to give it a shot. And that's to say that what we're thinking is that wave 4 is completing because it does look like it just might. So if we call it there, then what we got going on is, and this is going to be again the minuet degree. I'm going to switch these guys around and put them up correctly so we are all color coded in what we will be looking for. And we'll look at that. Yes, we might get something that really makes us all jump for joy up there. Come on. All right, so 618, 53.40. We're looking for it to come above 53.76. So let me go ahead and just get rid of that one right away. So we'll get out of there. And so really what we're looking at, we have this outside, it was support coming down, could be some resistance going up, 52.84. Then we have again up here at 53.40. And then we start to break the high with the high at this is 53.58, which goes back out to that minor degree that we're looking for. And then, but we've already been above it, but it came back. So it's still there, but we're looking for it to break at least above 53.68. And that really doesn't give us a whole lot. I've got to go and see what this guy is. That and that, I'm not sure. Where are my numbers? They're way up there. Where's 100%? I bet you this one is, oh, that's why. There it is. Let me get that changed. Okay, so once 618, and then we have that high, but the fifth wave, 100% of wave 1 would put us up at 54.03. So again, we do have some nice upside targets. Market just needs to pick up the steam and get it going. Those would get adjusted. This is on the premise that low completed minuet wave 4 and that we start to move higher again. If we continue to move lower, here as well, that number is 51.30. And so it could go pretty quick if there's something they don't like. But I'm kind of thinking this area will hold. If not, we're going to come down into here, and then we'll start our rally. And then any adjustments that are needed to be made, we'll be looking. But we're going on the basis that 52.38 from today completed the move. And then we start higher. All right, that's going to be it for today. Now, again, just to repeat, tomorrow, what we have coming out for economic data, we have personal income and spending, and then we have PCE index and the core and all the goodies. That all comes out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, and at 9:45 Chicago Business Barometer. I don't have any Fed people speaking tomorrow, interestingly enough. All right, so that's going to be it for today. I will be looking to probably put on over the weekend the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100, two separate, the weekly updates. And so the next Elliott Wave update will be coming on June the 3rd. Have a great weekend, everybody. Have a good trading day tomorrow.